Hi, this is Joshua coming to you from here in Abbotsford. I've been doing some study on the GEET and joepipe similarities, and been going back and researching some of Paul Pantone's older works, going back about 10 years, around about 10 years. And if you go to my joepipe channel, you can actually see what I've written up this morning. And it has to do with the catalytic effect of when the propane actually burns in the joepipe. It oxidizes the water produced by the combustion of the propane, oxidizes with the iron inside the pipe, and that starts a catalytic effect, which the steam combines with the carbon dioxide, or CO2, to reform it into carbon monoxide and water. That further reduces back into, frees up your hydrogen, and so you might get a methane reaction too, where hydrogen and methane actually combined. But anyway, yesterday I picked up 2 plates of 1/4 inch, 16-inch steel plate, and this is what I'm going to use to make the burner of the Star Stove. Cost $40 for that. Pretty good deal. So what I need to do with this is shape it. And make this into 2 hexagonals and put a nice edge on it. And you need to drill a 1.25 inch hole here. And that's where I'm going to put a short stock of 1.25 inch pipe, and around that will be like a 3-inch by 3 or 4 inch cup that will go over top of that, and I'll have a propane feed rod that will go right into they'll probably go into the back, so the propane's going straight up, and I'll have the 1.25 inch pipe connected to the 3-inch cup on the outside to inject the air, and that little cavity should get fairly hot from the burn. You have to preheat the air prior to going in. And anyway, I've been thinking about this catalytic reaction, and this is really major, because if this is so, this will explain the efficiencies of the joepipe, even using propane. And the propane there's no way that I can actually heat up 2 plates. When I was doing my test 4 years ago, 2 12-inch plates, 1/8 inch steel, where the whole thing would just get red hot on both sides. There's no way, a standard 20 propane bottle with 20-pound propane bottle with normal pressures with a regulator on it, that's going to do that. You might get a little red spot and that's it, but you're definitely getting much higher reactions. And I was thinking, comparing the joepipe, if you have a standard 1.25 inch joepipe by 16 inches, and if you peel it open, there's only maybe that much by this much surface area. And if you take these 2 plates of 16-inch steel and you count both sides, the inner surface, you're going to have probably at least a 3 times increase in the surface area. And so this tells me that it's going to develop more retention time. It's going to take longer for the flame to go from the center out. It's like the flame's going to be squished, and the end result would be a longer retention time for any catalytic reactions to take place. And one of the first tests that I like to do, I like to set up the 2 plates, and I like to add 6 ceramic washers, and on the bottom plate, put the top plate on, and just see what the reaction is going to be when you have two plates that are electrically isolated. One will be the positive, one will be the negative. And what will happen when you actually spin the fire through? Is it going to create some kind of a Tesla effect or electrostatic effect? And I wouldn't be surprised if I get some kind of a short or plasma effect around the edges where there'd be a highly electrostatic charge that'll be developed by the electrostatic friction, and there'd be like a shorting right on the edges. And it's just a theory, but it's possible. And if that's so, then where you have this electrical effect happening, it's going to have a catalytic effect in itself, where you're developing maybe like a low-level plasma field around the two plates. So I'd like to try that first. And once I get set up, I like to take the next step and just bolt the plates together and test it that way. Just use maybe stainless steel washers, and I'll put them apart. Then I'll tap the top plate and bolt it in like that. And actually, what you should do is weld on some studs so the top of the plate is smooth, so you can actually do your cooking. And somewhere down the line, if I like to look around for some iron screen, thin iron screen, maybe a copper screen, maybe a stainless steel screen, or even some kind of titanium mesh, and make a sandwich in between the two plates. And since all 3 or 4 of those screens have noble properties, where they where when you heat them up, it would actually cause a catalytic effect. It would be interesting to see how much, if this is going to increase the, convert your CO2 produced, where it's going to reduce it down into hydrogen, methane, and carbon dioxide. Got this cold here I'm trying to get over. So that'd be an interesting test, but it seems like the joepipe is developing some kind of a catalytic effect where the iron inside is being reduced, where the steam produced is being converted and bonding with the iron to free up the hydrogen. And this would be a major breakthrough, because you'd actually have a stove. Say for instance, if I got the star stove set up and I'm running on propane and air, where I can make a little bubbler. Could use a like a tire for the pressure to bubble the pressure of the air inside the tire into a little canister filled with gas and water, and just take that and add that as an auxiliary proponent to see if it's going to break down the hydrocarbons within the fuel. And this is really exciting, because it is I can see it being a breakthrough and producing a stove that's actually carbon negative. And up to this point, I don't know of too many stoves out there that actually have those properties. And so you can actually do a comparison test where you're just running on propane and air, and so that you should be able to see the red point of the plates. I don't know whether the propane air mix is going to have sufficient heat to actually turn both plates solid red, but definitely is going to superheat it. But you could compare that when you add your auxiliary water and gas mix to it, and to see if this will increase the red point of the two plates. So this would be like a visual. I'm not set up with the lab. I don't have the fancy test equipment, so you have to do what you can. But anyway, I just like to bring this out.